Domebot says Hubert Humphrey was Lyndon B. Johnson's VP in 1965. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Interesting. I did not know that. Welcome in, Luke. Nice to see you, my friend. Ballyho. Did I say hi to everybody? I did. Shaka Does says stainless steel straw. Watch your teeth, Mr. Rotella. I only used a straw on Survival Sundays and when we're drinking Methylene Blue. I'm sure I'll be fine. Why? Is there something about stainless steel straws that I need to know about? They're much better than paper straws. These straws came with the tiki set that I drink out of on Sundays. My friends, if you're not joining us for Survival Sundays over on a completely separate channel, Rotella Games, you should. You poke your eye out, says Brad. Thanks, Brad. Brad's always looking out for me. All right, guys, let's do a little bit of an Epstein block. The Clintons said that they will not testify in front of the House committee, and I'm sure accountability is right around the corner.
Go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
President Trump gives open, unending press conferences on a daily basis. Anybody can ask him anything. And he's addressed this issue ad nauseum.
Under oath, it's different.
The Clintons have not. And I think it's defiance of Congress for them to...
Look at how red he is when he talks about Epstein.
I mean, I think by definition...
is this guy in the files? At this point, I think everyone's in the files. Everyone's in the files. Brad's in the files. MB is in the files. Finno's the only one that's been yelling about this for months. I don't think that Finno's in the files. You're in the clear, Finno. Wokeopotamus says, I just checked the archives. Only lead straws are dome approved. Ballyho woke. All right, this is Tim Burchett. What's up, David's here.
It's all off the record. You can't talk about it. So, but I will say that it was bipartisan. The effort to bring Clintons in here. It wasn't a partisan effort. I think that something needs to be made clear. And
Ballyho Lily.
Questions surrounding the Clintons since cocaine dealings in Arkansas. I mean, it's just a history of this bunch. Their corrupt nature. So I think at some point we should have justice and we should bring them in. But I just don't think they got the guts to do it.
What do you make of their argument that they have been complying with the investigation and this is really just can you say that at the mic? And that
why weren't they here? Why weren't they in there? Anybody else in America would be shamed to the point of coming in, but the Clintons have just been given they're just given a pass. And that's,
even Hunter Biden showed up.
Yeah, well, last year. Anyway, thank y'all.
Finno says, did he say cocaine? Finno's nose just started to run. David's here. Welcome in. Nice to see you. I think I saw someone else come in as well. Ricky, welcome in, Ricky. Nice to see you. Democrats asked point blank today about the Epstein files in Clinton.
Today the Clintons announced that they will not be following the subpoena with the House Oversight Committee. What is the caucus's reaction to the Clintons' decision, and what's the path going forward?
I don't think there's any oversight, Democrats here, but that's a decision that obviously we just saw. Republicans continue to distract from the American people. They continue to want to focus on what doesn't matter. This is the same group that said for months they didn't want to release the Epstein files and that nothing was there. And so now they want to embrace this and score political points with testimony. That's a decision for the Clintons to make. But House Democrats are focused on the administration carrying out the law to release the Epstein files, no matter what they say or who they name. But scoring political points and bringing people in for testimony, that's just something that House Republicans want to do to take our eye off the ball, take the American people's eye off the ball.
No, because we've been talking about the Clintons being a part of the Epstein files for as long as I can remember. Hi, Habs. Elite Domer. Habs says, why would the Clintons show up? They are protecting all the pedophiles, deep status, and Israel. Wouldn't show up either. It's failure theater, says Habs. I mean, dude, at this point, both sides are protecting freaking everybody, and that's a huge problem. What I feel so helpless about it, and I hate that feeling. I haven't felt helpless in my life for a very long time. And when it comes to this topic, I do feel helpless. Would you agree, Dome? It's not a good feeling. All right, here comes Comer talking about this. And then we're going to go to Rotella reads. Yes, Rotella reads the whole statement from the Clintons today, writing a letter to Comer, who we're about to see. Making me feel helpless is exactly what the Illuminati loves to do.
We got movement. Here we go.
He's coming, guys.
Doesn't matter.
Lauren Boebert holding a poster of the famous painting. Did she take that out of my den? We got a thief. Someone call the cops.
All right. Well, I think everyone knows by now Bill Clinton did not show up. And I think it's important to note that the subpoena was voted on in a bipartisan manner by this committee. This wasn't something that I just issued as chairman of the committee. This was voted on by the entire committee in a
Why isn't the painting in the shot
of the House Oversight Committee to subpoena former President Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Now, Hillary Clinton's supposed to show up tomorrow. We'll see what happens there. But
yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Former president, he did not show up today. One reason I think most Americans want President Clinton to answer some questions is because he visited the White House. Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House 17 times while Bill Clinton was president. I've been in Congress 9 years.
God, we can't get away from this number 17, can we? We can't. It's everywhere we look, it's 17. And then a little tiny Mr. Rotella voice with a little tiny mustache in the back of Mr. Rotella's head goes, that's because it's part of the plan. It's because of the plan. Trust the plan, Mr. Rotella. I can't anymore. Belt Loops Matter. Welcome in, Ballyho.
I think I've been to the White House 9 times in 9 years. Epstein was in the White House double the amount of time that I was under one president. And then we know that Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's plane somewhere around 27 times after the presidency. So no one's accusing Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing. We just have questions, and that's why the Democrats voted along with Republicans to subpoena Bill Clinton. Not a single Democrat.
I mean, Epstein being in the White House 17 times is pretty extensive. How many? That's almost as many times as Netanyahu has been to the White House since Trump's second term.
Showed up today. Not a single Democrat. The ones that have press conferences on the Capitol steps and talk about how they're trying to get justice for the victims and all that. It just seems like they only care about questioning Republicans. And we've had a former Trump cabinet secretary, Acosta, in for a grilling. We had Bill Barr, former attorney general, in for a grilling. But for whatever reason, President Clinton didn't show up, and the Democrats...
Why weren't these things televised, by the way?
...on the committee don't seem to have a problem. This is the amount of preparation that went into this deposition today. These were the questions...
Can we make those public?
...prepared to ask. We've communicated with President Clinton's legal team for months now, giving them opportunity after opportunity to come in, to give us a date, and they continue to delay to the point where we had no idea whether they're going to show up today or not.
Then, so we did subpoena, correct? We did subpoena. They didn't show up, so we should be giving the same enforcement that Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro got, right?
As a result of Bill Clinton,
so they should be being arrested.
His lawful subpoena, which again was voted on unanimously by the committee in a bipartisan manner. we will move next week in the House Oversight Committee markup to hold former President Clinton in contempt of Congress.
And then what happens?
With that, be happy to answer any questions real quick.
Mr. Chairman.
And then what happens?
Mr. Chairman, will you roll out bringing Donald Trump in for an interview
Well,
in this investigation?
President Trump has answered thousands of questions about Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, I would say today, well,
I think we should bring in Trump too.
every day. He answers questions every day.
Not under
about
oath, though.
Epstein.
Will you rule out
Well, you can't bring in a current president of the United States, and you all know that.
Oh,
So, but President Trump has answered thousands of questions about Epstein. I bet today, at some point, some of you all will ask President Trump questions about Epstein. He answers those questions. To my knowledge, former President Clinton has never answered questions about Epstein. And we just had questions because, again,
he's
I
never,
think
ever,
anyone
ever done that.
Would admit they spent a lot of time together while Bill Clinton was president and post-presidency. And again, no one's accusing the Clintons of any wrongdoing. We just have questions, and I find it odd, not only they didn't show up, but that the Democrats on the committee who are so concerned about getting to the bottom of the Epstein investigation didn't even bother to show.
We're all concerned about getting to the bottom of the Epstein. When did we let the Democrats take this topic fucking over from us? Oh God, just a freaking fumble from the beginning of this to right now. Such a fumble. This was never the Democrats' talking point. It's always been our talking point.
Mr. Chairman,
Thanks a lot, Pam Bondi.
President Clinton suggested that this was a Joseph McCarthy-style tactic to have him brought in front of this committee. How would you respond to that?
Who said that?
President Clinton in his letter to you last night.
I mean, this is a thing that obviously the media is interested in, the American people are interested in. He's never answered any questions, and the Democrats on the committee voted with the Republicans for Bill Clinton to come in. I mean, I don't ever remember a bipartisan vote to subpoena anyone. I've been on the Oversight Committee the entire 9 years I've been in Congress.
David says, what a mess is hilarious. David loves watching me lose my mind at least 3 times a month when we cover this.
So the Democrats were real eager to hear about Bill Clinton, and then somebody came along and told them they need to stand down.
Welcome in, Lala
I've never
Ballyho.
seen a Democrat not show up for a deposition. The whole time I've been in Congress on the Oversight Committee, I've never seen a time when the Democrats never showed up. Yeah, when Hunter Biden came, there were 10 or 12 of them in there.
Sir, is there any...
Mr. Chairman, we asked Hakeem Jeffries about this.
Bill, go ahead.
We asked Hakeem Jeffries about this last night, and he called you a deeply unserious person and said he doesn't have faith in you to lead this investigation. How would you like to respond to him?
Well, look, the feeling's mutual. I don't have any confidence in Hakeem Jeffries.
Good answer.
I don't think Hakeem Jeffries ever mentioned my name the first 9 years I was in Congress. In the last 2 months, he's mentioned my name and made slurs at least 5 times. I think that Trump derangement syndrome is morphing into Comer derangement syndrome for Hakeem Jeffries. My advice to Hakeem Jeffries is, first of all, recognize the fact that the members in your conference voted to subpoena Bill Clinton. It was the Democrat members of the Congress that voted for that subpoena, number one. And number two, he clearly has a problem with me. Maybe he should go to one of those Somali therapy centers and get some type of therapy for his disdain for me. If he's accusing me of any wrongdoing, then he should file a complaint. And this committee's not going to be like the January 6th committee where everybody goes and begs President Biden's staff for pardons after they issue a report. We're trying to get the truth to the American people, and we're doing everything we can.
Mr. Chairman, to be clear, did you actually read the letter from the Clintons?
We're gonna read the letter next.
From the Clintons. And so,
which one? There were multiple letters, and we read them all.
Their appearance today.
And we read them all. There were multiple letters. We read them all.
And I think the story.
That's Andy Biggs in the back. He's going to be running for the governorship of Arizona.
Is the Democrats voted to subpoena Clinton. This was not a Republican stunt. This was voted on in a bipartisan manner. And there, by the way, and nobody showed up. Go ahead, Andy.
Let me just add to this. There was communication from the committee to the Clinton lawyers back and forth for continuously for at least 6 months. And they never said they weren't going to show. They never said they thought it was unconstitutional. They never exerted a privilege. There was communication constantly, and every indication that we had was that they were going to come on in and he was going to answer questions, which is why both parties said we would like President Clinton, former President Clinton, to come on in.
It kind of feels like everyone's just playing. It kind of feels to me like everyone's just playing a fucking part in this giant movie. And like what the heck are we doing? These guys don't seem that pissed off about this.
Not to. So yes, there was.
And I see MFT's comment. MFT says, where was that comment from MFT? I'm not that. I have zero concern about Epstein, says MFT. Well, I've got huge concern. And I appreciate your First Amendment right, MFT, but I have a huge concern.
There was plenty of communication back and forth.
The DOJ has yet to release all the files. What is your plan with that? Are you pressing for the release? Or?
Well, first of all, let me say I subpoenaed Pam Bondi. I don't remember Jamie Raskin or Elijah Cummings or anyone ever subpoenaing a Democrat attorney general of their own party. We subpoenaed Pam Bondi for the documents. She started producing the documents. Then Congress voted for the discharge petition to send another message, and we all voted for that. They are sending documents. They sent a big batch. The Democrats were unhappy. They said there weren't enough redactions, so now the DOJ is going through trying to make sure they redact everything. So from my standpoint, the Department of Justice is cooperating. They are.
It can definitely, MFT, this is the fucking key to unlocking the Illuminati global conspiracy pedophile ring. This is the key. They fucked up. This is the key. This connects royal families. This connects giant businesses. This connects CEOs to giant businesses. This connects central banks and bankers. This connects everything. This is the key to getting to what we've all believed in forever. So of course it's a big deal for 2028. It's a big deal for how how the world is going to be run into the distant future.
We would all like for them to turn documents over quicker, but at the end of the day, they are complying. President Trump is answering your questions about Epstein. He's answered them over and over and over again. Who we haven't heard from is Bill Clinton, and I stated why. The amount of time that Epstein spent with Clinton while he was president and post-presidency. So I don't think it's
thanks, Finno.
It's out of line for former President Clinton to come in for a bipartisan subpoena and sit down and answer questions. So thank you all.
Chairman, if the oversight committee does vote.
Thank you, Brad. Yes, Brad knows how to calm down Mr. Rotella immediately, doesn't he? Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Brad. Brad with the Aria emoji. This'll shut Mr. Rotella up for a second. Okay, dare we try to do some Rotella reading? Are you guys ready for some Rotella reading? We've got 1, 2, 3. Let's say 3 pages, and they're long. There's like multiple paragraphs. Are you guys ready for Rotella reading? Dear God. Okay. Ricky says, I want answers about the several jets loaded with federal assholes that gathered plane loads of evidence from St. James Island. Where is it and what horrors were uncovered, says Ricky. All right. Rotella reads. Follow me. Look at that letterhead. We definitely got to take this guy seriously. William Jefferson Clinton and Hillary Rodham Clinton, January 13th, 2026. Chairman Comer. I wish I could do a Bill Clinton accent, but I can't. But I can do this. Chairman Comer. We want to take a moment, given everything, to address you directly. This past year has seen our government engage in unprecedented acts, including against our own citizens. People have been seized by mass federal agents from their homes, their workplace, and the streets of their communities. Students and scientists with visas permitting them to study and work here have been deported without due process. The people who laid siege to the U.S. Capitol have been pardoned and called heroes. Agencies vital to the country's national security have been dismantled. Universities, media companies, and law firms have been subjected to threats to their funding, access, and licensing unless they made concessions and surrendered their right to constitutionally protected free speech. American troops have been deployed on the streets of our towns and cities. The Justice Department have been used as weapons and at the direction of the president to pursue political opponents. And most recently, and searingly, an ICE agent killed an unarmed mother only days ago. What the fuck does that have to do with anything, Bill Clinton? Welcome in, Seth Ballyho. Nice to see you. Every person has to decide when they have seen or heard enough and are ready to fight for this country, its principles, and its people, no matter the consequences. For us, now is the time. We are lucky by virtue of the positions we held and the protections afforded by them, but we are not blind. Every day we see the country we have dedicated our lives to improving take step after step backwards. Well, they had to put that extra after in there. As chairman of this powerful congressional committee, you have immense power to target anyone and subject them to closed-door interrogation and more. The decisions you have made and the priorities you have set as chairman regarding the Epstein investigation have prevented progress in discovering the facts about the government's role. The facts speak for themselves. You subpoenaed 8 people in addition to us. You dismissed 7 of those 8 without any of them saying a single word to you. We did what? You made no attempt to force them to appear. In fact, since you started your investigation last year, you have interviewed a total of 2 people. 2. How am I getting this information from fucking Bill Clinton? A legal analysis prepared by 2 law firms and provided to you.
To come.
You're right, Cammie. The best is yet to come now that you hit that follow button. Welcome in. A legal analysis prepared by 2 law firms and provided to you yesterday makes clear your subpoenas are legally invalid. You claim your subpoenas are inviolate when they are used against us, yet were silent when the sitting president took the same position as a former president barely more than 3 years ago. We call on you to release that analysis to the public to allow them to see how this is yet another example of the casual disregard of the law of the land. All the while, you have done nothing with your oversight capacity to force the Department of Justice, no, don't get me started on them, to follow the law and release all its Epstein files, including any material regarding us as we have publicly called for. Over the last year in the House, extending health care for Americans in any state succeeded only because enough Republicans joined with Democrats. The fact that the public and we are seeing any of the Department of Justice's Epstein files is only because 4 Republicans out of 220 joined every Democrat to reach the minimum number of members to force a vote. You were not one of those 4. Even now, despite the Department of Justice's failure to follow the law the Congress passed, you have chosen not to consider subpoenaing the sitting Attorney General to follow the law. I think Comer just said that he did subpoena the Attorney General, didn't he? Despite everything that needs to be done to help our country, you are on the cusp of bringing Congress to a halt to pursue a rarely used process literally designed to result in our imprisonment. Sounds fucking great. This is not the way out of America's ills, and we will forcefully defend ourselves. They will forcefully defend themselves, huh? Indeed, bringing the Republicans' cruel agenda to a standstill while you work harder to pass a contempt charge against us than you have done on your investigation this past year would be our contribution to fighting the madness. We have tried to give you the little information we have. The little information you have, the dude was in the White House 17 times. We've done so because Mr. Epstein's crimes were horrific. If the government didn't do all it could to investigate and prosecute these crimes, for whatever reason, that should be the focus of your work to learn why and prevent that from happening ever again. There is no evidence that you are doing so. Instead, you have forced the victims to relive their painful experiences while doing little to give them and everybody else what's deserved, truth, and justice. There is no plausible explanation for what you are doing other than partisan politics. Give me a second, let me have a drink. Why haven't we subpoenaed everybody else? That part of the first page makes me very upset. You accepted the least from those who knew the most, but demand the most from those who knew the least. Yeah, right. You say you can't complete your work without speaking to us is simply bizarre. You have asked what we know. To answer your inquiry, we are providing you with the same or more than 7 of the other 8 individuals you subpoenaed regarding the handling of the Epstein investigations and prosecutions, which may be why you have not publicly released their written statements. I would like those. We expect you will say it is not enough. We expect you reject it. You may even set out an empty chair or stand in front of the cameras and outright dismiss what we have provided. We expect you will direct your committee to seek to hold us in contempt. You may even release irrelevant, decades-old photos that you hope will embarrass us. You will say your caucus, and well, I think Bill Clinton has used his caucus a lot with Epstein. You will say your caucus and the speaker and the president are behind you 100%. We hope perhaps in vain that you will not allow you to single-handedly hijack the Congress by unilaterally making this decision for your colleagues, your party, and your country. Jesus. What's up, Roy Dye? Welcome in. You will say it is not our decision to make, but we have made it. Now you have to make yours. We are prepared to make our case to your 45 committee members, and if need be more, importantly, we also will defend ourselves in the public arena and ensure this country knows exactly what you are doing and why you are doing so, instead of helping the American people who need this Congress's work and protection. For most people, maybe even the bulk of the Congress, today will be the first they learn of this dispute. We are confident that any reasonable person in or out of Congress will see, based on everything we release, that what you are doing is trying to punish those who you see as your enemies and to protect those you think are your friends. Continue to mislead Americans about what is truly at stake, and you will learn that Americans are better at finding the truth than you are at burying it. Continue to pursue auto pens instead of penning laws Americans need, and you will learn that you are signing away any remaining chance of being on the right side of history. Continue to abet the dismantling of America, and you will learn that it takes more than a wrecking ball to demolish what Americans have built over 250 years. Sincerely, Bill Clinton and Hillary Rodham Clinton. God, this fucking Epstein thing is such a goddamn mess. Jeff Mack? Did we get a raid while I was monologuing a letter? Hi, Jeff. Hi, Mr. Mack. Hi, hooligans. Happy freedom. Hi, happy freedom. Happy freedom. Happy freedom. I just read the 4-page letter from Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton today to Comer. Oh my God, these people are they're driving me crazy, Jeff. They're driving me crazy. I gotta go to the padded room. The more and more that we learn about this Epstein thing, the more and more I get crazy and pissed off. Okay, Jesus. Let's go take a look at Jeff Mack. Thank you so much, Jeff Mack, for that raid, my friend. I appreciate that. Domers, please follow the Jeff Mack. Mr. Mack always goes on a couple hours before the Dome. So if you need a place to hang out with some politics, hang out with Jeff Mack, everybody. Follow Jeff Mack today. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you so much, hooligans. God, man, that stuff just pisses me off so much. Welcome in, hooligans. I'm sorry if I didn't see you come in during the chat. Nero, welcome in. Jeff Mack, welcome in. Zero, welcome in. Cass, hi. Roy Dye, hi. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Kids Today, thank you so much for coming in. Don't get me started on the Kids Today. Don't get me started on that, Kids Today. We got a great stream lined up for everybody. I'm not sure if you guys watched the Trump economic speech that he did today from Detroit. What we're going to do after this first musical break is we're going to come back. We're going to see Trump getting on Marine One. He takes questions out in front of the White House. We're then going to go to Detroit for his whole speech, and he then does questions again afterwards on the tarmac, getting home from the Detroit speech. So we're going to check out all of that. My tongue is blue, Vice City. That's because we got some Methylene Blue going on. RFK Jr. approved. All right, my friends. All right, hooligans. We'll be right back after this musical break, inspired by...
is yet to come.
You're right, Fuzz. The best is yet to come now that you hit that follow button. Welcome in, Fuzz. Inspired by Epstein. We'll be right back.